Hi guys, Lou Antonio here, and in this video I'm going to show you how making $1 million with your supplement brand is a lot easier than you think. So on the screen, a bit of proof from my side. If you want me to do a refresh check, I shall do a refresh check. This is my own supplement brand. You can see done just under 2 million with this since launching it. And if you are watching this, you don't know where to start, so say you've just got a good idea, not sure where to get going with it, or maybe you have a supplement brand and you're struggling, you're just not making as much money as you'd like yet, I'm going to show you literally A to Z, the fastest way to build and scale a 7-figure supplement brand, and something that ideally divorces your income from your time, so you have complete time, location, and financial freedom like I do out here living in Bali. If I can do it, I come literally from nothing. If you don't know my story, brought up in a cult in the Western equivalent of literal poverty, brought up in a council estate, and I pretty much taught myself to do it, but it took me a decade to do. And in this video, I'm just going to break everything down step by step. I'm going to box off how do you find a product, how do you build an offer and strategy around the product so that it's actually appealing to the market, the big question of like, where do I find a supplier or manufacturer? Once I have that, how do I create a brand and get a strategic point of differentiation? How do I build a website? Does it need to be this fully integrated e-com store? How long is it going to take me? I'm not very technical. Just all of these limiting beliefs I get all the time from the students that I work with. I'll talk about email marketing, paid ads and creative, of course, the most important thing with Meta and actually acquiring these customers. And then, of course, once we get them, how do we keep them? I'll also go into the whole back-end setup and operational side so you understand how the money flows or how all of the supply chain and logistics links together. And of course, as I said, the returning customer things, particularly so with supplement brands, is so important. And I have systems and strategies that you can just steal directly from me. This is 10 years worth of experience that you're getting completely for free. So do not skip this video. This is really important. So let's just jump straight into it. I'm going to start here. Most people, when they come to me, they are obsessed with a product. Wrong place to start. What I want you to do is to flip this, and instead of being focused on making this perfect product with all these specific ingredients in or packaged in such a perfect way, bro, no one cares. We need to take a step back, dial everything round to first principles, and remember that we need to obsess over the customer, because this is the only thing that matters. You need to understand the customer. You need to know more about them than they know about themselves, because if you don't know this, if you're not equipped with this information, how on earth are you going to package or build or sell a product to someone that you don't know what keeps them up at night? What are their fears? What are their worries? What are their problems? How is that manifesting in their life? This is the kind of depth. It's not just like surface level. I have a 40-year-old woman suffering with digestion problems. I want to know, like, okay, what does this actually look like? What are the fears? What are the emotions that they're encompassing? What is their current situation? A very good, thorough understanding of this, and how does the problem manifest, and what is that desired situation? Armed with this knowledge, this is what will enable you to not only separate from the competition, but actually build a brand that has messaging that actually resonates. It's magnetic. Most people, they go wrong here. They just focus on the product instead of the actual problem. And think about any successful brand. They always have a specific problem marketed to a specific type of person or persona that it's perfectly, the whole brand, the architecture, the messaging, the language, the avatar, when I mean like the customers that they're showing that actually looks like the people they're selling to, the colors, the typography, it all has that resonance. And I'm going to show you how to bring all of this together to build a supplement brand that has infinite scalability, and it's not that difficult. I'm going to run through everything, so stay with me. Now, let's just go straight in. So the first thing you're going to want to know, of course, as I just said, understand your customer. What do you exist, or what do you want to exist to solve? What's your reason for being when you're building this brand or this product? This takes us to our first tactical problem, basically, is what are we going to sell? And I have three criteria that I'm going to walk you through that you need to understand and know before you start building, not afterwards. This is so important that you do your groundwork and you set the foundations so that you're building from a solid platform. So 3 rules. First and foremost, you must solve a high pain point. I've just labored on about it for the last 2 minutes. We're paid in direct proportion to the level of the pain point or problem that we solve. Low pain point, no sales. High pain point, so much less friction to actually getting that sale over the line. The second one is you need to have margin. And I say a minimum, bare minimum, is a 65% margin or markup on your product. If you don't do this when you come around to advertising, It's very difficult because think about the competitive landscape and the ease of use to even set up a supplement brand or just run generic Facebook ads. When I started 10 years ago, it was a lot more technical than hands-on. We had all of this interest-based stacking and targeting, whereas now it's a lot easier, which means by default there's a lot more competition. And if you don't have margin built in to actually acquire customers, you're doomed to fail. It's impossible. It doesn't matter how good even you are at retention as well. You have to make sure that you have enough meat on the bones to be able to package, position, and sell your product to the customers. So important. And the third thing is, wherever possible, instead of just selling a random product to a random person, I need you to ideally run a founder-led brand. And this is something where you're auditing yourself, your own buying behavior or your own problems, and you're selling something or reselling something that you already use and get value from. And this is so important, because the place I see a lot of founders go wrong is they just pick a random product in a random niche or audience that they know nothing about. How on earth are you going to be able to package it? How are you going to create that point of harmonic messaging to actually convince a complete stranger to come onto your website, give you money, if you don't know more about them than they know about themselves? This is so important, and it links back to the first thing that I said before about the pain point. With the pain points, once we start doing our research on the market, the principle I normally use, what we're looking for when we're doing our product selection framework and thinking about our customer, is we're looking for a starving market with a bleeding neck. This is the pain point I'm trying to push you towards thinking about. Higher the pain, the easier it is to sell. So if you can create a hierarchy and list of 1 to 10, and we focus on those top 2 or 3 pain points, this allows you to flow downstream a lot easier. If we link this back to margin as well, supplements generally have a low AOV. What do I mean by AOV? If you don't know what AOV means, it's fine, I'll tell you. Average order value. Unlike selling furniture or a car, for example, where we're selling something for thousands, we're selling what is generally a low value product. So probably in the region of between 40, 80, maybe $100, which means that it's very hard to make profit on your first sale. Okay. This is kind of what I've boxed off in here. Okay. Is we need to be able to think about where our profit's coming from. And most time with supplements, because we have to bake in an acquisition cost, which no one thinks about, which I'd say on average, if you want between 20 and $30, that's a safe zone for you. Your profit comes on the repeat sale, on retention. So we need to build in strategies that are focused on retention. Okay. And the good thing about supplements is they're a consumable, which means once they use them, they're naturally going to come back for more, assuming they've had a good experience with the brand and the product does what it says on the tin or the top of the packet or whatever for what you decide to release it in. But yeah, so always just strip. This is what I want to teach you: to strip things back at all times to first principles. If we're building a founder-led brand, if you're the ideal customer, you already understand the pain point. You have that authenticity that comes through. It really helps you kind of build story or the positioning. Everything just seems to be a lot more natural. And don't worry, I'm going to show you later in the video how to do this. But if you are just starting, if you're just getting started, or if you're scaling, I have a couple options for you if you want to work directly with me. So first one, link in the description if you want to join my school community. It's free. I'll show you literally the fastest way to launch and scale a profitable supplement brand in 2025. But we'll do this without wasting money on ads, on agencies, or custom formulas. So yeah, join if you want to make or build a supplement brand with other like-minded founders. Because if you're anything like me, when I started out, I was completely alone. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no good people around me. So I wanted to create this safe space for others who are also on the same journey. We're dealing with the same problems, systems, tactics, strategies. So it's so much better just to have a global network of other supplement founders. So yeah, links in the description. And if you want to work directly with me on a one-to-one basis to help build your supplement brand, just like I did, scaling mine to 2 million, or some of my clients, mentioned Alp, Travis, Ryan, Luke, that these guys are all building 6- and 7-figure brands. There's also an option to book a one-to-one call so we can see if we're a good fit to work together. Again, link will be in the description. Now we're going to look, so let's assume we safely have a product. We understand the framework to actually select the product. The next thing is, okay, the offer strategy and the product strategy. And instead of going in with this massive broad range of product selections, if we don't have an unlimited budget, which I'm going to assume if you're watching this video you don't, what I recommend is you start with one single hero product, and we only look to extend to additional SKUs. By SKUs I mean stock keeping units or other variables or different products within the same line, after we first understand our customer and we're already building traction. So first thing is build a brand and then market. We're looking basically to establish product market fit as quickly as possible. It's only at that point, once we have direct input from the market, that we can even think about diversifying. The supplement industry, remember, there's very low barrier to entry, and I'm going to show you how. You might think it's difficult to get into, but it's not actually that. It's very, very easy. It's never been easier compared to when I started. So the thing that you need to do is you need to have a strategic point of differentiation around your product. And the way we do that, instead of marketing everything generically to everyone, we have one hero product, one hero problem, one hero customer. So we really are able to focus on what is it that we exist to do. If you go and you release with 10 different products, the amount of marketing angles and time and creative and systems you're going to need to be able to actually sell any one of these, it's going to be extortionate. It's going to be very difficult for you to do. And it's also harder for the customer to understand what you exist for. Again, if you don't have unlimited cash flow, you run into problems very quickly. Whereas if you exist to solve a specific problem, we can use like AG1 as the perfect, like Athletic Greens, use those as the perfect example. And I've broken down the funnel a little bit later in the video, which I'll show you. But again, they have a single product, market to a single problem, what it is that they exist to solve, package it in a unique way, build really good, strong branding around it in systems. So draw inspiration from guys like these. This is the best way to start because you're not spreading yourself too thin, which is very tempting to do in the beginning. So now you understand this. We don't need to build this like crazy massive range of products. We just keep things nice and simple, and the principle here is start small and then scale. Don't go too big too fast. Don't worry about moving too fast. This will come with time, but drawing everything back, we want to be able to make data-driven decisions based on the market and not founder assumption. This is so important, and it's again something I did wrong when I started. I just made bare assumptions about the market and what people are or aren't willing to buy, and that's what ran me into trouble. I was like 2 years developing a product, launched it to complete crickets, and then spent the next year physically traveling in person around the UK every single weekend, speaking directly to customers to extract this information, which then allowed me to reposition or rebrand, and that's when things started to actually take off. Cool. Hope you're following so far. The next thing, so we understand our product. The next logical problem becomes, all right, what are we going to sell? This is about finding a supplier and manufacturer. And by the way, I have a video which pretty much gives away all of these back-end systems. It should be either here or here. Watch that after this one. I'll give you a complete list of suppliers, doesn't matter where you are in the world, and I'll show you the specific structure that you need to follow and questions that you need to ask to make sure that you're doing this in the right way. So in this video, we'll just keep things nice and simple, consolidate. So what I recommend you do to start with is do not go custom formula unless you have at least 20 to 30K in budget to spend. It's going to take you a very long time. And the thing is, even if you do what I did and go custom formula to start with, the thing where you're going to, or the problem that you're going to encounter is you're going to make what you think is this perfect product, but you haven't sold it yet. So it might make sense to you, but remember what we said at the start of the video. The market is indifferent to what you want. It has its own problems, its own fears, wants, hates, desires. And if you're not selling ahead of time, you will run into trouble. And this is why I recommend if you're just starting out and you don't have a huge budget, use white label suppliers or drop shipping. So we do like branded drop shipping. Use companies like Supplier. No money down whatsoever. You basically make your own label, which they'll help you with, and then you only buy the product from them once you've sold it. This streamlines things so much. Of course, it comes at a cost, and that cost is your product's probably not going to be perfect, but the thing that we're trying to find here is establishing product market fit before we then take that next step to invest your cash into inventory, okay? Remember, there's regulations as well. So supplements, they're consumables, these are things that people actually put in their body. So you've got to think about safety, shelf life, like all of this, the regulation side of things. Again, Supplier will handle all of that for you. Bear in mind, I have no affiliation to them. I'm just telling you this is the best, easiest way for you to bring a product to market. The thing that you want to do and learn from me is just don't commit cash to inventory too soon. So if you can drop ship, if you can white label, so you're selling someone else's product with your own label on, perfect, because you're still able to build a brand around this. All of the infrastructure is still owned infrastructure, okay? And of course, whatever route you decide to go down, whether it's branded drop shipping, whether it's white labeling, even if you're already going down custom formula, it's fine. Just make sure you do your compliance checks, make sure you have all of the right accreditations and certifications, and just do your due diligence. Now we have a product. Now, the difficult bit. How are we going to create a strategic point of differentiation around your product so that we're just not in this generic field of competitors? It's actually really easy. And just remember that we're not doing drop shipping here. Like drop shipping, the whole pump and dump thing is no fun. It's not a fun business to run. What we want to do is we want to build a brand, something that stands for something. And as we said at the start of the call, we exist to solve a specific problem. Okay, and if we're in a saturated market, which supplements technically are, we need to be able to differentiate. And this is how we avoid kind of bland feature-first marketing as we do in dropshipping, where you're pretty much selling someone else's product with their logo on. We're not going to do this. We're going to apply our own logo. Okay, and linking this back maybe to the founder-led story, we're actually going to develop and build a narrative. So tell your story. If you want to be a founder-led brand, or even if you don't want to be the face of it, make someone up, use AI. Just think outside of the box. Just make sure that we're telling stories instead of selling bland features, because no one cares. Remember, we need to find that point of harmonic resonance and build in emotion with our consumers. This is what's going to attract their attention. This is what is going to, that kind of alchemy of converting attention into dollars. This is what this comprises of. And it also will allow us to build this flow of consistency between your ads to your landing page to your email flows, where everything's just seamless. We're storytelling, we're not selling. We're leading with value. This is so important. And then once we understand our market, once we understand there are problems, this is how we can reverse manufacture our branding and fit it in a way that actually directly correlates with what's going to resonate with others. And a good way to do this is, of course, to take or draw inspiration directly from competitors, whether that's direct competitors or indirect competitors. We don't need to reinvent the wheel at any point. There are other brands out there in the same niche already killing it. Draw inspiration from them. I don't mean copy them. Don't get out of that dropshipping mindset of ripping everything. Just make it your own. Take the best bits of 3 or 4 other competitor brands, direct or indirect. Take the best bits, look at how they lay out it, look at their marketing, look at their hooks, look at their creative, look at their avatar profiling, look at their positioning, and just draw the best bits. So you kind of have this hybrid amalgamation of all the best parts of all of these different brands. And it's at this point that it's now okay to start building infrastructure digitally. So this is when we move over to our website. And before we get into the website, now, I broke down AG1 here. And the reason I've done this is because what I do not want you to do is think that you need this fully integrated e-com store that's perfect. You have all of these pages. It's super technical. It's taken you 6 months and a whole development team and 100K to build. We do not need that. We need to move fast, speed. And the easiest way to do this is to start with a simple 1-page long-form landing page. We can either do this as a listicle or an advertorial. It doesn't have to be like perfect, but I've just kind of broken down AG1, and this is there above the fold section, which is arguably the most important piece of digital real estate that you'll build. And we're just drawing inspiration from this. So look at what they've done right. Simple branding, simple logo. That probably took 10 minutes to make. It's nothing complicated. Call to action here is very clear. They have a clear hero image video, looks professional. They have very good use of white space, clean headline on one line, subtitle, no more than 2 to 3 lines, which explains the headline. Again, very clear, contrasted call to action. And now that's it. This is all on one page. If you go onto the website, I'm pretty sure they have this hybrid homepage landing page, which you can buy the product from. They have an about us page and ingredients. That is it. And what I'm talking about speed is we want to move fast with this. We don't want to overcook it. We don't want to overcomplicate it, because our first port of call, remember, is to establish product market fit as quickly as possible. If you want to look at another couple of brands, I put a few here. Lemmy, Miracle Moo, Real are quite good. Gruns and self-sustenance. Just look at these guys. These are market leading companies. Primal Queen, for example, these guys are doing at least over $1 million every single month, so we can draw inspiration. And what you will see is a lot of commonalities in their layout, in their flow, in their landing pages, in their creative, and you can just funnel hack these. They've done all the hard work, so you don't have to. So just draw inspiration. Don't overcomplicate it, because the first thing, we need to move with speed. We need to validate this market idea, this product. And if we spend 6 months building a website, that's 6 months wasted. We could have just had this done in a week. And we could be testing, could be getting real world data directly from customers already, which will then help us form our next hypothesis, which is how do we position it, how do we market it, what else can we try? So speed is everything. If you want to think outside the box of the places to push traffic to, listicles are great, advertorials you can run directly to product page as well if you don't want to do the landing page. But the easiest way to do it is just to build one single landing page that has all of the information, the founder story, you're anticipating objections, and you're boxing off the important questions or objections from customers, which is who, what, where, why, how, and just as much social proofing as possible. But it doesn't need to be that complicated. As I said before, the principle here is speed to market. In your landing page, we want to focus very heavily on the benefits, not on features. No one cares about features. because they don't really understand ingredients or how it works. All they care about is the desired result. So focusing on leading with as much information that shows them that this is the best product for them. Don't worry about it has this ingredient, it has this. Okay, yes, it's important, but it's not the most important thing, because the customers want to understand at a very high level, what is it, who else is using it, how does it work, what results is it going to get me, that's it, and how much is it going to cost me, all right? And weaving this narrative, if we link it back to founder story, people learn and like to buy from people, right? We learn like through storytelling. So this is just kind of one big storytelling page. And if we can link this to founder story, we have that point of harmonic resonance, which means we're flowing a lot downstream, and it doesn't feel like we're selling. It's all soft, it's all value led. And this is what I'm talking about here, like having a lead form with or landing page, which is reciprocity. Then give before you take. I'll talk about this in a second. So this is your landing page, pop on email to get people into your ecosystem. This is what I'm talking about here. I've got a good example from AG1, which we'll break down a little bit in a second. But the principle here is, on average, people take between 4 and 7 touch points before they will buy anything from anyone, whether that's digital or in person. And email marketing and leading with reciprocity here is incredibly important. Just to touch on email marketing, I just took a screenshot from one of my portfolio brands here. You can see this is from Klaviyo. This is just in the last 30 days, I think. Yeah, June to July 2025. So this is real. 181k pounds and 35 from, and this is a bad month as well, but generally between 30 and 60% of revenue every single month comes from email marketing. So if you sleep on this, it's literally it's wasted opportunity. So don't skip this. So emails, when we're talking about a lead form pop-up, I've just broken down AG1s here just to keep things consistent, but look at this. Let's just break it down, right? Everything's on brand. The typography is consistent. It contrasts. They have a clear call to action. It's value led, so they're not asking. They're not leading with discounts. They have good product photography, and this is all things you can draw direct inspiration from for your own. Once we have people into our email ecosystem, this is when we can really fill out on that landing page, and we can start to educate them on what the product is, how it works, who else is using it, all of the ingredients, because they're already interested. We're able to nurture and build that relationship, and this gives us the opportunity to have those 4 to 7 touch points before they will buy. To start with, when you're launching, I'd focus primarily on a welcome series and an abandoned cart flow. I think I have some examples down here so you can see them. This is from my own brand as well. So customer stories, if we're doing like launches, lots all led on social proof. But you see, none of these here are selling. They're all educating. This is what I'm trying to get to you. Okay, there's an ask at the end, but first we're focusing on building integrity with the brand, and this is so important. And this is what I'm talking about here: education, storytelling, tons of social proof. You can highlight features about the product. In your welcome series, you've got an infinite amount to do that as well. And this is something that I really want you to not skip. I know it can be quite time consuming to set up, but all of the big brands are doing this, and there's a reason that they're doing it. And if you're not doing it and you're already up and running and you're trying to scale, you're leaving cash on the table, so don't skip it. Hope this is all making sense so far. Now, let's think about it. We have a product, we have our strategic point of differentiation, we have our landing page, we have our email set up. Now it's time to actually do some strategic marketing. How do we do it? Simple. Start small and scale. I would recommend, if you don't have a huge budget or don't have much experience, you can start with statics or image ads on Meta. And this is how to do that. So seed product to real people who look or talk like your ideal customer. Use friends, family, do it yourself. Just kind of get those UGC style videos, UGC standing for user generated content. If you can as well, if you're comfortable, get behind the camera. You should be the face of the brand if possible. If not, just leverage AI, make a story up. I don't care. Just make sure that we're storytelling and not selling. For how you do this specifically, I've got a few examples down here. So this is, again, just directly from my own brand. So we're using influencers, we're using people who actually use the product, we're utilizing customers. We also have nutritionists or authority figures. And this is just like, there's no budget gone into this whatsoever. This is just real life customers that we haven't paid, that have sent us in reviews. It's like super easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of money, it doesn't take a lot of time. It's just basic editing, and that's it. Once you have that, you can of course leverage AI creators, or just AI in general. You can move into more UGC, you can hire influencers. Again, it can be quite expensive. And once you have cash flow and you have customers, in the business. You can also leverage your email marketing to incentivize them to produce UGC. This is what I do with my own brand here. Like, these are all real customers that we've literally just sent them a free product in return for sending us a picture or video. That's it, all automated. There's no manual element to it as well. It's all built into the flows. This is how we really start getting the flywheel going on the content. And in my opinion, a modern day e-com brand, first and foremost, is a media company. So having this content flywheel flowing is incredibly important. But as I said, we don't need to overcomplicate things to start with. We just need to put out content that resonates. And this is why the founder-led version works really well, or if we're using customers to sell to other customers, and the narrative we read through is very focused on the problem and the customer desired situation. Because you understand this, all of a sudden now we're flowing downstream. And that's pretty much it from the marketing side of things. Again, hope you're still with me. I hope this is making sense. But now we start to think about, okay, what does the operational side of things look like? A lot of people asking me, what do I do? How does it work on the back end? And it's really simple. And most of this is hands-off as well. So this is at a high level. We go ads, website, make the sale. You have three options. You either dropship. You dropship directly from the supplier. You send it to 3PL, they do the picking and packing for you, or you do what I did when I started. This is actually a real picture from my kitchen. You do the picking and packing yourself. But that's it, it's really easy. From there, it goes to the customer. And then again, if you get your customer come back, we'll link this back over here. Why are you doing that, mister? Stop. What I meant to do was link you to here. And it goes round, you have your continuous flow. And it doesn't have to be any more difficult than that. If you have your infrastructure set up, if you're going custom formula, you would go manufacturer to 3PL or to home. If you go white label, they would go either to 3PL or to home. If you go dropship, it would just go straight from the dropshipping company like Supplier to customer, easy. And you're pretty much cut out of it. And this is the main thing. Once we start to look at scalability, or if you're building this brand to escape your 9 to 5, or you want kind of what I have, and you have that time, location freedom, just remove yourself from operations as quickly as possible. Of course, make sure the numbers work and it's sustainable. This is the beautiful thing about building an e-com brand, is you're able to divorce your income from your time, and all of this pretty much runs autonomously from a laptop. This is how I have a company in the UK, in the US, or Dubai, and I'm able to run this completely remote on less than 4 hours a week. For my place in Bali. It's not that difficult. It just took me a long time to get where I am because I didn't know what I was doing, and I had to figure everything out on my own. But you don't need to do that. This is why you're watching this video, right? Cool. So we have our operations now. Now, what does your full-time job come? This is how once we're launched, we have sales coming through, we have infrastructure, we have a product, we understand our customer, operations are all done and flowing. How do you disperse your time? This is it. Really, really simple. You focus on three things: conversion rate optimization, so the post-click experience, ads, of course, front-end marketing, and then retention via email. So you literally have Shopify for CRO, Meta or Google for your marketing, and Klaviyo for email marketing. Okay, it doesn't have to be any more difficult than that. And all we're doing really is we're controlling our messaging. We're also playing around with our offer as well, and trying to figure out that point of harmonic messaging. And remember, with the offer, it doesn't really matter what you think. It has to make financial sense to the customer, not just to you and the business and the brand. So playing with the offer, looking at different offer stacks, so maybe doing bundles, strategic discounts or upsells, all of this. These are things that you need to spend your time on in order to make sure the business continues to cash flow and grow. And as I said before, retention is everything. Like you see this, right? Acquisition costs, because they're so high now, they eat into your profit. And the profit for me starts after the second sale. So we need to be focusing on building long-term customer relationships. And this is where, again, your email marketing comes in. I've just got a couple examples from my own brand again here. So your post-purchase series, once they bought from you, we're not selling to them straight away. We're relationship building. We're educating, entertaining, engaging them. We're getting them into a community. For LTV, which is lifetime value, we get them into subscriptions, we're upselling, we're cross-selling, we're leveraging them for referrals to get the customers, because there's no purer form of marketing than customer selling to customers. And of course, we're leveraging them for reviews. And this is what fuels this pipeline. This is how you're able to really zoom out of all of this and build a brand that is a system. It is completely on autopilot, that allows you complete time, location, financial freedom. And the good thing as well is you build something with equity that you can sell, because it's not directly attached to you. This is the key. This is what's important to me. It doesn't take up my time. It grows every year. It actually solves a real problem in the market. And this is mostly all systematized. And you can genuinely just copy this directly. This is why I'm giving this away. This is all my trade secrets, if you like, that you can just have completely for free. And that's it, really. The thing that I want you to realize is that in the beginning, Of course, it's not going to be easy. You have to work hard enough in the beginning to not have to work hard. That's the key. You need to understand, what do you work on? How do you spend your time, and not overcomplicating things? And this is exactly why I do what I do now. I've helped over 100 clients build this exact same structure. Like Alp, David, Luke, you can see, if you click the link in my school community, you'll see their reviews directly in this. I'm not making this up. I've obviously built my own brand. You can see I'm sharing my results. I'm completely transparent with that. So if you want help directly building or scaling your supplement brand, or if you just want to be in a community of like-minded supplement brand owners, link in the description for school. If you want to work directly one-to-one with me and we'll build all of this together, book a call directly. And if you just want to keep learning from me, I'm giving away all of my systems, tools, tricks, strategies. I'm completely transparent. So just click the next video and I'll pretty much show you the full anatomy of my full nutrition brand. So again, you can just directly copy it. And of course, if you have any questions, anything you agree with or disagree with, just stick them in the comments and I'll directly come back to you. But I hope this video was useful. If there's something else you'd like to see, again, stick it in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.